Why hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Car Juice. Today I'm going to be giving you guys the squeeze on the Genesis G80. The Genesis G80 is Genesis / Hyundai / Kia's luxury segment competitor to the BMW 5 Series, the Lexus ES350, and the Mercedes E350 as well. Overall, this car is extremely nice. This one features the 3.3-liter turbo, making 365 horsepower, giving this thing quite a bit of power and overall very, very good handling for a vehicle this size. It's more so gearing towards the luxury segment, being a mid-sized kind of sedan rather than a small little sports car, but for the money, this car selling at 2018 in 2024 is selling for $25,000, making this an extremely good value for the money. The Genesis G80 also is relatively reliable. This car, has a lot of cool creature comforts, and with it being a Korean-made car rather than typically like a full-on like Mercedes or BMW or anything like that, the maintenance costs aren't going to be quite as bad as well. You got the turbo GDI engine, again making that 365 horsepower underneath the hood, and overall this car is not too bad. This did have quite a few recalls and those sort of things over the years. Thankfully those are free, but that was the reason that my customer decided to trade this car in. Again, it's a great car, great for the price, and there's a lot of cool things that come with it for that price point too. Namely, the adaptive cruise control. So it actually has a radar sensor here in the front, and then you've also got cameras on the front bumper and on the side mirrors, giving this thing that top-down 360-degree view. And this thing is also extremely comfortable and very practical. So you've got LED taillights here in the rear, a power opening trunk, making this thing very premium, very luxury, very demure. And then whenever you're sitting in the trunk, you actually have plenty of space. Comes with a little cargo liner here in the back, which is quite nice. Did I bring the key with me? Yeah, we'll be fine. There's a button to let us out. So whenever you do close yourself in the trunk, you have plenty of room to let yourself back out. It's all carpeted. It's got little lights in here. I would give this trunk probably a... Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, all right, this trunk almost got an 8 out of 10, but it's not very good if you get kidnapped, so probably gonna bump that down to a 7, but it's power closing, power opening, and if you do want to put the seats down, you can do that. You've also got a little center pass-through there, so basically very, very practical trunk. You can fit your golf clubs in it, which if you are looking at this price point, you're probably somebody who plays golf. Whenever this thing was new, that's saying. Oh my gosh, hold on, I'm gonna cut to catch my breath. Okay, so now that I've recovered, I did want to mention that this thing was about $58,000 whenever it first came out, putting this about $10,000 less than how the 5 Series would compete in that time frame. And this has a lot of the same features, and some even better than what the 5 Series offered whenever it was brand new. Namely, the double-paned glass windows, which are quite nice and keep out a lot of extra noise. It also has ventilated seats. It doesn't appear as though they have massaging seats, but heated and ventilated is always a nice thing to have. And then you have a gamut of other safety driving features as well. One of them being the lane departure warning. You've also got a rear shade that you can put back in the third row, back and forth. And then you also have this very cool shade that opens up whenever you press one button, and it opens up from either side, and it's also got this very nice suede Alcantara headliner. You guys know I'm a sucker for an Alcantara headliner. The infotainment system, while not being extremely up to date, it's better than the Lexus IS500 I reviewed last week. You do have Apple CarPlay, which is wired, and then it is just a very simple system. You can control it with this little controller down here in the center and quickly scroll through whatever you want. It's 2018, 2017, I'll say it, I said it once, I'll say it again. It's where they should have stopped with navigation systems because cars have just gotten too complicated for most people to figure out. Got this very pretty little clock in here, very Lexus. We like the way it looks. And then you've got this nice semi-perforated leather steering wheel on the front. Moving to the back of the car, you have plenty of space for any activities you're interested in. These seats are very comfortable, and you do have a little bit of a bronze highlight in between the perforations on the seats. And in terms of legroom, you have just tons of room. Got about probably 8 inches or so here in the back seat. No real charging infrastructure in the front there, but you do have this very nice armrest that comes down, giving you options to do pretty much anything, even putting that shade back down. But again, no chargers. I wish that they would have had those in there. This cup holder is leather wrapped, which is quite nice. And then you have heated seats in the back seat. Very, very nice. Lexicon sound system in the car, so that's not too shabby. It doesn't sound terrible. Again, it's kind of hard to get a sound system to register on a video properly, but you've got these nice shades in the back, so pretty much anything you want or need to do in the back of the car, you can do that. Doors have a very, very good sound whenever you close them, showing nice build quality. But the biggest thing, again, was all of the recalls that came up for the previous owner, and then also the fact that you have to take this thing to a Hyundai dealer. Very excited to take this thing on a little bit of a spin. Overall, I'm pretty surprised and pretty happy with how this car overall is put together. You know, only 63,000 miles for 25,000 bucks. It's over about 60% depreciation in 7 years. So a pretty good value proposition to pick up one of these on the pre-owned market. I'm going to put you guys on this rear, and then I'm going to put another version of you guys on that window. All right. So in the driver's seat of the Genesis G80, you are in a very, very, very comfortable cabin, specifically for the money. These seats are so comfortable. It has adjustable side bolsters, but this car was very much centered towards luxury and a nice, high quality vehicle for a very, very fair price. The interior cabin is quite nice. The only bad things that I really have to say about the interior, the fact that they didn't put leather on the other side of the dashboard, and it's kind of this like rubberized plastic, is not that great. The carbon fiber looks really good. The aluminum looks really good. I like that they have leather over the cowl of the steering wheel. The steering wheel feel is not bad for a luxury car. It's not a performance vehicle. But when you close the door, the sounds this thing makes whenever you close the door just feel very premium. They feel how you would expect whenever you're in a luxury car. Interior noise is good. It's very smooth. Going over bumps, it almost glides. I don't think this car has air suspension. I didn't look into it. And the 3.3 turbo engine has plenty of power. You could also get this with the 3.8, which is the base model. It was about $10,000 cheaper than this one is. And on the exterior, I just wanted to comment on the styling. Overall, this car is aged very well. Like, you can tell it's a couple years old, but like, it doesn't look bad. The 2025s look very, very Aston Martin-esque versus which does make this one look a little bit more dated, which is partly what they're going for. It does have a little bit of that Hyundai design language with kind of some of the bubbly lines and those things, but overall, not bad. It looks premium, looks nice. The paddle shifters are a little bit small, but decent for a luxury car, and it just max bumps. People always said that the worst part about owning this thing is taking it for service, and I can definitely see why. The steering is a little bit numb. It's a little bit wafty. It's like, it does have a considerable amount of body roll. If you put this thing into sport mode, let's see, steering wheel weights up and it downshifts. Is the cornering any better? No, still feels clueless. So a 5 Series is definitely going to out-handle this car. I would say that this handles about as well as a Lexus does. Okay, it looks like a 8-speed transmission, which is nice, and it shifts through the gears fine. It's not like it's a high-speed shifting transmission, but you know, for a luxury car, it's great. The steering wheel isn't bad. It's a little bit skinnier than I would kind of like, which kind of leads to more of that numb feeling, but the safety settings and the assisted driving, those sort of things, I can see what it's asking me to do. Currently, it's kind of giving me a bit of a lane assist, and then this thing does have your blind spot monitoring and the important things there too. Would I buy this car for $25,000? Heck yeah, I would. There are other cooler options that you could get for the money, but if you're looking for, you know, a car that's not going to be terribly expensive to own long term, I think this would be a pretty decent offering. If you're wanting to get that luxury bump, get something that's a little bit different. Like obviously the Lexus ES350 is probably going to hold its value better than this car will, and then it's also going to be cheaper to own and maintain. But originally they did put a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty on this car for the original owner. So that is kind of a nice vote of confidence. It's not going to be a Lexus in terms of reliability, but you're paying probably about $3 to $5 grand less than you would pay for a Lexus in order to pick one up one of these. The 3.3 liter turbo is pretty sporty and peppy. And then overall, it's just not too bad. Really impressed with the quality of the interior materials and stuff like that. You do have a USB Type A in the center console, typical for 2018, which is good. And the heads-up display is big and easily legible. That downshift wasn't bad. Maybe in sport mode it picks up a little bit. Yeah, that's really not bad. Yeah. Overall, just wish that, you know, the handling dynamics were a little bit crisper. It just kind of feels like a big boat going through the corners, but for a good, reliable luxury car, like if you're driving back and forth to work, this is a good car. It also books extremely strong if you're looking to get financing on this car. You know, the car retails for about 25 and it books for about 26, 27. So, and if you're looking for a car to, you know, get approved on and you don't have the best of credit, this is actually a pretty good option. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really want to go over on it, but overall this is a pretty solid car, and I think I would pick one up if I was looking around for something that would be a very good daily driver. You know, you're not going to also, the other thing that I do want to mention, it's Genesis, so there is a little bit of that issue, you know, similar to having to take it to a Hyundai dealership for servicing. You know, people, if they are in the know on cars, they are going to know that, you know, it's not, you know, a Lexus or a BMW or anything like that, but personally, I don't really care. I vote with my wallet, and I'm a cheap guy. This thing has tons of good features, and overall, I would give this car an 8 out of 10, especially for the price. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, though, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.